But you know it hadn't failed yet?
What? That's true. You can't fail if you never succeeded.
Welcome back to the Pantless podcast. Here's your hosts, Austin and Travis. Take it away, guys. What's going on? Don't turn off my camera.
We don't turn off the camera.
Why are
Sup? We're here.
Like this?
Why are you experiencing technical difficulties right off the bat?
Because that's how we do things around here.
This is like
This is
it reminds me of the Washington Commanders when they have to they come out of like a penalty and a timeout and then still get a delay of game.
How were we to know?
And
that
then
we could
end
be
up
eliminated
losing
from
the game.
How was our coach to know that we could be eliminated from playoffs with a loss last week? How was he supposed to know?
It's that's why they brought in the big wins. For some reason. Dumbest move in history of the Commanders. Probably.
It sadly enough, I was on Riverboat Ron's side. I love Ron Rivera. I thought he was going to be the coach of our future, and then he pulls those shenanigans. Fire him. Fire the whole everything from like the ball boy all the way up to the owner. Just fire all of them.
You don't want to fire Mrs. Schneider.
No, all of them. I don't care. All of them. Gone. You're the one defending the owner, but you're not going to get mad because I said fire the ball boy?
Well, the ball boy deflated Wentz's balls, and Wentz is no Tom Brady.
No, he probably overinflated them. It was overinflate gate.
Either way, can a whole lot of them.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Hey, you been eating anything good lately?
Honestly, not really. The best thing I've had... I take that back. I did have some steak Alfredo a couple days ago. It was pretty good.
I had steak a couple days ago.
Nice.
My dad got a new pellet grill when they were out in Branson the other day.
Uh-huh.
And he wanted to test it out, so they invited us over for some steaks. They're pretty
nice.
Good. They're pretty good. They were farm raised beef from our own farm.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, good steak.
Yeah.
Freshly frozen for the last year, you know.
Right.
So.
But yeah. So not much. Food hasn't been really exciting.
Did some chili cheese tater tots for dinner tonight. Because I had some leftover. I from the bag from last time I made them, and I had some leftover Velveeta. So, pretty good stuff.
I love me some Velveeta.
So, let's get into some football talk, because this, I didn't realize till a couple days ago, or even today, because 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, when we talked about it, this game going against Washington and Dallas in the season was more important for Washington and a throwaway game for Dallas.
Yeah.
Now, Washington lost a game they shouldn't have. The Eagles have lost. The Packers blew out the Vikings. So, now, if Dallas beats Washington, Philadelphia loses and San Francisco loses, Dallas is the number one seed with a first round bye.
That's crazy.
So that's crazy. And they win the East. And they become the first back-to-back NFC East winners since, 2001. Or did we deem it was 2005, 2006? It's been a while.
It's been a long, long time. Who does, so I know, what's his face? Hurts is hurt.
No, he's back. He'll be back this game.
He will be back.
He's back.
Okay.
I said all that to build you up.
They should win then. If Hurts is back, they'll probably win.
I built you up to say this. Philadelphia and New York, the Eagles and the Giants play.
Mm-hmm.
Giants are they're playing a mean nothing game. Their game, I think they're the 6th seed. They're the 5 seed in the NFC. If they beat the Eagles, they're a 5 seed. If they lose the Eagles, they're a 5 seed. So no matter how that game, so they're gonna sit most of their players.
Yeah.
Unless they want just, hey, we beat the Eagles. But beating the Eagles helps the Cowboys, so really who do you want to help there? So how much are they gonna play? And I think the Niners get they
get Arizona.
Yeah,
and Arizona's terrible this year.
Yeah. Arizona.
So the odds of Arizona and New York winning are so slim. I don't think the Cowboys are going to lock that 1 seed in.
All 3 games are 3:00 games tomorrow. No, Sunday. So all 3 games are going to be playing at the same time. So it's not like Dallas can, like at game time, be like, well, both those teams won. This game means nothing, and just kind of rest players. So all 3 teams have to play as if they're getting the 1 seed. Like, how was this played?
Yeah.
And then, like, no, even the AFC has like a 3-way chance for the number 1 seed. Kansas City, Buffalo. I think Kansas City, Buffalo, and I want to say one other team can get the 1 seed. But since that Buffalo game got got fully canceled, and so Cincinnati and Buffalo will actually have played 1 less game. So I think Cincinnati and Baltimore play, and if Baltimore beats Cincinnati, they could kick Cincinnati out of the division win. Because Baltimore has the tiebreaker, and Cincinnati has 1 less game played.
Yeah, I don't think Cincy is going to have a shot. Because right now,
I don't think
Kansas City is 13-3, and Cincinnati is 11-4. So even if Kansas City were to lose and Cincy were to win,
but
Kansas City would have the better percentage because they've won more games, even though they have the same amount of losses. So Cincinnati is screwed.
Well, yes, and Cincinnati's mad because if they would have been given the win against Buffalo, they'd had the same amount. They'd be tied record-wise with Kansas City, but that game was just straight up canceled due to the injury. So it's like, what do we do here? It kind of hosed their season a little bit.
We'll see.
But now
maybe that'll give them that underdog spark.
Their NFL came out today and said that if Kansas City, Buffalo, or Cincinnati are either playing, 2 of them are playing the other, one's playing the other, or if like one is in that game, in the AFC Championship game, it'll be played at a neutral site because they don't feel good about giving, because the number 1 seed got so skewed because of that canceled game, that if Buffalo and Kansas City, like say Buffalo gets the 1 seed, and it's Buffalo, Kansas City in the AFC Championship game, because that 1 seed was so messed up due to the canceled game, they'll give them like a neutral site. It's either going to be the Dome in Indianapolis, or somebody was saying possibly even Pittsburgh, because Damar Hamlin, the dude that's in the hospital, he's from Pittsburgh. So they're thinking that wouldn't make it a neutral site, because if that guy's from Pittsburgh, like,
put it in Indy.
That's kind of what everybody. That's kind of the thought, but really, does that like, if somehow Jacksonville makes it to the AFC Championship against like Buffalo, wouldn't you want that played in Buffalo? Because you have Buffalo knows how to play in cold weather.
Right. But wouldn't that Jacksonville's not one of the teams that they're concerned with, right? So Jacksonville would go to Buffalo.
Because if Kansas City, I think the way it was weird. The way it was said is if Buffalo, Kansas City, or Cincinnati make it to the AFC Championship, no matter who they're playing or weird stuff, that it would be a neutral site game because they got messed up with who could. I don't know. But
I guess that makes sense.
If Jacksonville gets the chance to play in a dome against Buffalo and against any of those three teams, because all three of those teams are cold weather teams, Jacksonville's a warm weather team. They generally don't travel to cold places well, especially not in February. It messed up situation. That's kind of unprecedented, and it's a horrible. I don't know if you kind of know the whole situation. If you've been keeping up with the Damar Hamlin thing,
not like in depth, no.
I heard this morning that he actually was awake. The breathing tube out of his, they removed the breathing tube, and he actually FaceTimed the team during their team meetings this morning.
Oh, nice.
And then had a chat with them, so everybody's in good spirits, and Buffalo's going to go win a Super Bowl.
Okay.
I want to see. I'm calling it out. I want to see a Buffalo Minnesota Super Bowl.
Why?
They both are tied for the most Super Bowl losses without a win in the Super Bowl era, with 5. Neither. Okay. I don't think neither team has won a Super Bowl, but I think they've both been to 5. I think Buffalo was at went to 3 straight.
In a row. Yeah.
3 or 4 in a row, and lost all. I think they lost 2 in a row to Dallas. I want to say in like 93, 94. When did Dallas win their back-to-back in the 90s?
I think it was 93, 94. Because I know their last one was 96. I think they skipped 95.
Yeah.
And then I think they were 93, 94, 96.
Let me check.
Poor Bills.
Yeah, that was old Jim Kelly days, wasn't it?
I don't remember. I was but a child. A wee child. But
who did the Buffalo Bills lose to in the Super Bowl?
Dead air.
Their last Super Bowl appearance was in 93.
So they were 91, 92, 93.
I think they lost to Washington and Dallas twice. Yeah, they lost to Washington in 91. I think it was all NFC East teams.
NFC Beast. We're one just good coaching decision away from having all NFC East in there.
They lost 4 straight Super Bowls between 91 and 94, all to the NFC East. The Giants, Washington, and the Cowboys twice.
Wow.
So they have 4 Super Bowl losses. And have never won one. And
wild.
I want to say Minnesota also has 4 and has never won one. I think they lost one to Washington. That's what those two teams have in common. I think they both lost the Super Bowl to Washington and Dallas. But a lot of teams lost Super Bowls to the Dallas Cowboys in the 90s and the 80s. You know, last time Dallas was good.
So they're good this year.
Are they? Are they Super Bowl winning good?
Yes.
If they get the first round bye, that's one less week that they have a chance to lose in the playoffs.
That's true. That's true.
I call it, if they get the first round bye, they definitely lose in the first round.
We got this.
You got
team.
This. Hey, breaking news.
Breaking news, yeah. But at that, keep it about bow. So we know.
Just so you know, I haven't put that graphic up this season.
Oh.
So.
Oh my gosh.
I kind of decided I'm gonna try to find a new one for next season, and we're just not gonna run that graphic because I haven't found one that I like yet to replace it. Which I like that one, but it might come back later in the season if we make that decision. Go on.
Yeah. All right, so we know that Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds hate each other.
Oh, do we?
Absolutely despise each other.
Didn't know.
And
news to me.
Now that the Academy is considering nominating Ryan Reynolds for his song "Good Afternoon,"
I don't know that one.
Hugh Jackman is going to Insta and saying, "Do not allow that."
Wait.
He says, here's a quote. Don't get me wrong. I love Spirited. It's a great movie.
Darn. Don't even get me
They're
started.
incredible, and I love their music. And Good Afternoon, by the way. The song Good Afternoon, I laughed the entire way through. It's absolutely brilliant. Where is this? I heard he was saying, don't do it. I heard he was telling the Academy, don't nominate Ryan Reynolds. But I'm saying, I don't know exactly what he said, but I know that he was pleading to the Academy not to nominate Ryan Reynolds.
So I'm mad at that movie. For one, because I badly wanted to watch that movie, like really bad. But it's on Apple TV Plus only.
I've never even heard of it until I saw that Hugh Jackman was like, no.
It's that Will Ferrell Ryan Reynolds movie. I think it's like a spin on a Christmas Carol. It's a Christmas Carol. That's why it was named that, by the way.
Christmas Carol?
It's a Christmas Carol. Carol. But yeah, Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell are in that movie, and it's called Spirited. It's on Apple TV Plus, which nobody in my sphere has that I can even borrow or try to watch it. I don't own anything Apple, so it's like, would they even let me have an account?
Do you have to have Apple? I thought Apple could be on stuff now. I
don't know. I was joking, but I hate all things Apple except for their MacBooks. In a workplace application, I hate everything Apple. But that movie looked good. I think that's the downfall, which it won't be, of streaming services. That's why I hate streaming services, because it's like, hey, you have to get this new streaming service that only has this one movie on it, and will only ever have this one movie on it.
Yep.
And it's like, well, but you got to pay $50 for the year, the whole year, just to watch this one movie. I'm over-exaggerating, but horrible. Now, the whole Hugh Jackman thing, they're going to be in a movie together.
Yeah, next year.
The Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
Since when have they hated each other? Since the X-Men Origins days?
Oh, it's just
or they joking
it's a play.
Each other.
Yeah, they are. As far as I understand, they're they just play as frenemies. They don't really hate each other,
Okay.
but they're just always going to social media, like down talking the other one, and you're like, surely they don't hate each other.
It's like
this
me and
is
you
just
at work.
joking. Kind of, yeah, probably. Or people are like, question this relationship.
They should. So, hey.
Yeah. Speaking of movies.
Hey, no, we're not going on to our movie.
Oh no.
Did you watch any of that series I sent you?
No.
Okay.
We're gonna try to do that tonight.
Okay.
I'm an old man, and my wife works in the evenings, so there's not a lot of us time.
Yeah. I need to watch more of it. For those listening and watching, so that it's sitting just between us, my wife made me start watching a new show called The Way of the House Husband. It's an anime. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to really kind of give anything away. It's normally I'm not a fan of this style anime, but it grows on you.
Okay.
Kind of thing. It's in English. You got that going for you. Because I'm not a fan of the subbed.
Yeah.
I can't
read it.
I don't read fast enough, and I can't really pay attention to stuff on screen. Which this one might work well as a dubbed, because of how the animation style is, or subbed. I mean, but there's 2 seasons out. I'm about halfway through the first season with the wife. It's really good. Check it out. Don't watch it around kids. It does have some language.
Alright. We'll try to watch it tonight, though.
Language. You're like, wait, what? What? When was that? Where'd that come from? So, but other than that, we did watch a movie.
Retro movie.
This is crazy. Have you seen this before?
Long time ago.
You had? Okay, because I had never seen it, and I was expecting slapsticky Monty Python humor because it had a couple Monty Python guys, and it wasn't like that really.
I was sitting there thinking, wow, this feels real Monty Python to me.
Really, you thought it did? There were some scenes where I could tell that they were wanting to do that, especially when that one guy, not Cleese, but the other guy.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name.
Terry Gilliam, I believe is who that one.
Yeah. But he was very much himself.
He directed that movie.
Oh, did he?
A Terry Gilliam movie. This was almost like a Monty Python Productions movie. Like it was his movie. He directed it. I don't know who wrote the movie, but it felt. After I was sitting there thinking, because like some of the like the giant with the boat on his head.
Yeah.
Felt like if you've ever watched Flying Circus and like Meaning of Life, Life of Brian, if you've watched a lot of the Monty Python stuff, mainly Flying Circus, their TV show from the 70s, 80s, somewhere around there, they did a lot of animation stuff. They did that weird animation. You've seen the Monty Python animation. Mm-hmm. And that big giant felt like one of those animations brought to life.
It did, yeah.
Kind of thing. And the way when he's walking up on shore and the couple in that little house was very Monty Python-esque.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I
wow,
can see that.
This feels like a Monty Python movie. The main little guy, the one that was smoking, just the one that always had the map on him.
Yeah, I can't think. What was his name? Reynolds or something like that.
I don't remember it. I don't remember.
I remember there was a Fidget.
Fidget, yeah. Rummel?
I'm sorry, I killed you, Rummel? Fidget. I don't know. I think it was an R name. I don't know.
Can't say that. He played a demon in one of my favorite British TV series from the 80s.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, Sean Connery had a weird role in this.
That super surprised me when he pulled off his mask. I was like, what? What just happened?
John Cleese.
There were actually a lot of big name actors.
Yeah. The main evil guy.
Yeah.
He was from he was from the second Ninja Turtles. I can't remember. Never can remember his name.
Oh yeah, he was that doctor. Yeah, with the ooze. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's in a bunch of stuff. Like he was in a lot of 80s and 90s stuff, but I always place him in Ninja Turtles too. Cause I watched that movie like 900 times growing up. So
right.
I as soon as I saw him in that, I'm like, wait, that's who that guy. And a couple of his henchmen look familiar as like side characters from 80s movies as well.
Yeah.
John,
and maybe that's why I was thinking more Monty Python, because I was anticipating Monty Python, and there was a lot more like 80s American sci-fi than I was expecting.
It was like American Monty Python.
Exactly. Yeah, maybe that's probably the way to describe it. Yeah.
It was like Monty Python directing, but with an American writer.
That could be it.
And who else? John Cleese was the most posh Robin Hood you've ever seen. That just cracked me up.
That was so funny.
Ian Holm as Napoleon. Do you recognize?
I didn't catch it. That was Ian Holm. No, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Didn't we just watch something with him just recently?
I mean, he was he was Bilbo in the original Lord of the Rings.
No.
He was.
Well, I mean, we haven't watched the original Lord of the Rings.
I can't remember what else he's been on that we've watched recently, because I'm trying to think of all the movies he has been in, because he was in Fifth Element. He was in Lord of the Rings. That's, I think, his whole acting career. No, he's been in a lot of stuff.
Shoot. Alright.
Oh, so Michael Palin was the Monty Python guy that was actually in the carriage and then on the Titanic.
Okay.
And it was directed by Terry Gilliam. He wasn't in the movie. I always get them two confused. I was looking at Terry Gilliam's directing career. Holy crap, what he's been in. What he's directed. Good movies.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't realize he did The Brothers Grimm with Matt Damon and Heath Ledger. If you've ever seen that movie?
Man, I should have seen it, because that sounds exactly like something I would have watched, but for some reason
It's basically a movie about the Grimm
Brothers.
Grimm. Yeah. Of them going and, like, looking for all the tale. Like, they're writing their book.
Yeah.
And they go, and they're having to, like, I think they end up, like, saving a town or something. It's been a long time since I've watched it.
Wow. I don't want to watch that.
He did a movie with Adam Driver back in 2019 called The Man Who Killed Don Quixote. Which I want to find that one. Which other one? There's another movie. 12 Monkeys was the other movie he did that I didn't realize that was his.
Really? I didn't know that was him either.
I didn't either. Possibility for a movie coming up, by the way, because it's been forever since I've seen that movie.
12 Monkeys?
Yeah. You've seen it?
We haven't done 12 Monkeys yet?
I don't think so, because I haven't watched that movie in... Don't think... You know, it won't happen this week. We'll find something else for this week, and I will actually... I promise nothing.
Yeah, don't bother. I know what you're about to say, and
I need to make a list of movies. It'll happen eventually.
Eventually.
Or we'll just start.
But maybe we haven't done talking about it because now that you're, I don't think it's probably been 13, 15 years since I've seen it. Now that I'm thinking about it,
yeah,
I'm sure I would have.
I owned it on. I think I owned it on like a 3-pack DVD back in like the 2010s. It had like 3 Bruce. I think it had. I think I bought a DVD pack that had like Fifth Element, 12 Monkeys, and some other Bruce Willis movie. It was like a Bruce Willis pack. And I was like, what's 12 Monkeys? I'd never heard of it. And watched it and I was like, this is the weirdest movie I've ever seen. It actually kind of gave me weird nightmares for a while. Messed with my head. But speaking of, Metacritic.
Metacritic.
So, 18 critics on Time Bandits. Gotta remind people what we watch because we've been talking about other stuff. 18 critics out of 100.
Man, this is gonna be a tough one. It didn't feel like a criticky movie, so I'm gonna say 43.
You know, I would have guessed the same thing, but actually, you're gonna be surprised with this one. 79.
Whoa! That is insane. Was it just the star power?
Had to have been.
That's crazy. Yeah, because that did not feel like a critically acclaimed movie.
Did it feel like a movie from 81?
It did.
Some of the special effects, and I thought it felt like a later 80s movie, or even an early 90s. It really didn't. The special effects were decently done. It wasn't cheesy special effects. There were no.
It was definitely better than Willow.
Yeah, there were no stupid green screen. Everything felt like it was done realistically or really good green screen stuff.
Yeah. I did notice the green screen was done well.
So it was a well-produced movie. Okay, so 20 users out of 10.
Oh, man. Let's go 8.2. Or is this one of those ones the critics like but the people hate?
This is not one of those.
Okay,
this
cool.
is a very, very close to each other's score. They were almost agreeing, but they didn't. 7.0.
Ooh, that is probably the closest that we've seen.
Both in the green and both in the 70s.
Nice.
Like, I couldn't find anything wrong about this movie. You know? There wasn't much criticism. So,
right.
Let's see here. The critics, 15 positive, 3 mixed, 0 negative. Users, 14 positive, 6 mixed, 0 negative. Film gave it 100. Wonderfully whimsical children's fantasy about a young boy's journey through the space-time continuum in the company of 6 cantankerous dwarves. Accurate. I have to really kind of slowly read this to make sure that some of these older
reviews don't have any words you can't say.
Yeah. That's why I slowed down there. I didn't slow down for cantankerous. I didn't know what word. I saw where that was going and I was like, it's already kind of sketchy saying the word I did, but it looks like that's the word that they use in most of theirs. Time Out London gave it 100. Never even heard of that.
Wow.
An extraordinarily intensive fantasy in which schoolboy Warnock is rescued from a dull suburban existence by a band of renegade dwarves who emerge from his wardrobe and whisk him off in an incredible journey through time and space. Sometime Monty Python animator Gilliam fills the screen with bizarre images and directs with a breathless ingenuity. I mean, he's a great director, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion. Empire gave it 100 for a kids film. Was this a kids film?
I wouldn't have thought it was a kids film.
For a kids' film, this is pleasantly dark, with Gilliam delivering a much classical fairy tale as knockabout comedy. What would you consider this? I guess an 80s, like a late, because I guess like 70s and early 80s kids.
Maybe.
Like if, like our age kid, like your age kids and my middle ones were growing up in the 70s and 80s, they probably were allowed to watch this movie.
Right. I mean, there wasn't a lot of bad stuff in there, I don't think.
No. Let's see here. Let's get down. Variety gave it a 50. When you can count the laughs in a comedy on the fingers of one hand, it isn't so funny. Time Bandits is a kind of potted history of man, myth, and eternal clash between good and evil, as told in the inimitable idiom of Monty Python. Not that the basic premise is bad, with an English youngster and a group of dwarves passing through time holes on assignment by the maker to patch up the soldier parts of his creation. What results, unfortunately, is a hybrid neither sufficiently hair-raising or comical. Alright. Like, I want to know what alternate reality his parents were living in with all those... Or was that just the early 80s?
It was something altered, because they were talking about, like, their new microwaves cooking something in 15 seconds, and she's like, oh, so-and-so next door, hers does it in 8 seconds. Ice cube to beef blah 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 in 8 seconds.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you talking about?
It was very... That family dynamic was very weird. That had, like, Tim Burton feels to me.
Yeah.
Jumping way ahead, how funny was it when they exploded, but the firefighters, like, just didn't care at all, and just packed up and drove away, and everybody's on the sidewalk, and nobody said anything or freaked out about two human beings just blowing up.
Sean Connery's character, as the fireman, kind of out the window, winked at the kid and just drove off like, you're welcome. You've lost me as a parent and your parents. Good luck with life.
Double dagger.
So, Common Sense Media. Let's get into this, Jim.
All right.
I don't think we've had this individual before. Paul Trandala?
I don't think so.
I can't pronounce the last name. We'll just call you Paul.
Paul. Paul.
9+ 4 stars.
Wow, okay.
Fun fantasy has a bit of bite. 7 parents said 11+, 3 stars. 10 kids, 9+, 3 stars.
Interesting. I wonder if these are more modern kids. That's why they're rating it so low.
I mean, was Common Sense Media around in 81?
Who knows? We should be really good parents and force our kids to watch these movies with us, and then they could tell us what they think. Like, on a scale of 1 to 5, what would you rate this movie? And how old do you think people liking this would be?
Wow, this is going to be a quick one. Positive messages.
Positive messages. It wouldn't surprise me if it was not present.
He gave it a 3 star.
3, okay. I want to know about this one.
Throughout, the movie advocates reading and an appreciation for both fictional and mythological aspects of human history. Its dwarf protagonists address themes of tolerance for their different from oneself. From those different from oneself. When does it advocate reading?
Neither of those things are anything that the movie is about. That's just something that, once again, it's like, oh, Ninja Turtles is a 5 out of 5 for consumerism because they sold action figures.
Yeah.
Like, this is a fantasy, and books are also fantasy. So you'll want to read books because he talks about historical figures that are in books. That's ridiculous. And those dwarves, can you say that?
I get
they never said anything about like acceptance. It was almost like it was a non-factor. The only time it was almost a factor is during that Napoleon scene where Napoleon had his complex.
Yeah, but he just didn't like anybody taller than him, and he was shorter than me. I'm 5'6".
Yeah. So I mean, it's that is. I am doubling down on my not present now.
Violence and scariness.
Oh. This one's interesting. There was a lot of sci-fi violence.
You like the finger guns where he pulled his fingers up?
Yeah. Pew, pew, pew. Yeah. So pretty much evil. Yeah. A 2.
You could.
But if he went 3, I wouldn't get my feelings hurt.
He gave it a 3.
I can see. He's a weirdo.
Considerable cartoonish violence. Not cartoon violence. Cartoonish violence. A man's arm is ripped off during an arm wrestling match, which was hilarious.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I'm like, what is
that.
this? The evil genius blows up many of his dim-witted minions. I think all of them.
Yep.
Firing squad executes prisoners. A hungry dwarf captures a rat and eats it. One can see the feet of a precious victim's hanging from the ceiling of an ogre ship. I missed that. Did you see that?
It's feet. Like literal just the foot on a chain. Like when she's sharpening her knives, you can see just different feet from previous victims.
There is an attempted suicide. Was there?
Oh, there's that guy in the Napoleon scene where he was freaking out that Napoleon was going to kill him, so he put the gun to his head.
And he put... okay. Kevin's home is burned down and his shallow parents are blown up at the movie's conclusion.
That's fair. I did forget about a few of those, so...
Alright,
okay.
Sex, romance, and nudity.
I don't know. I guess that one dude in the carriage, when they were talking about his problem, I guess that was kind of alluding to something. So I'm going to say a 1.
They said not present.
Okay.
What about your problem? I need fruit.
Yeah, I didn't understand, because I thought he was going one way, and then what does that even mean? I didn't get it.
I don't know. And then when they're on the Titanic, and he's like, she's like, but what about, no, darling, don't mention it. And then, like, they fall in and his toupee falls off.
Yeah.
Like, why were these two characters reoccurring in different timelines? We need more of this.
Right. So they're just, what do they call them? Star-crossed lovers, right?
Yeah, across all time.
Yeah.
So that
every
was
generation.
He's saying not present, not clickable. Can't even don't even look at it.
That's fair.
Language.
This one's got to be not present. I don't remember anything.
You would be correct. Not present, not clickable. Burning through these. Products and purchases.
Oh gosh, who knows?
I want to go buy some Robin Hood. I don't know about you.
After that first review, in reality, there was nothing. But there was lots of consumerism in them. The parents were all about stuff. Their 2-speeded lawnmower, their TVs, their blenders, all of it. They were all about that. So, but there was nothing that what I would consider consumerism wasn't there.
Well, he agrees. Not present, not clickable.
You know, after a rough start, Paul is starting to redeem himself.
Drinking, drugs, and smoking.
There was some cigars. There were some cigars.
And there was some wine. They were actually drinking wine on the Titanic.
Yep. So I could give this a 2 or a 3.
What else? There had to have been something else, because I thought there was a different time they were. I think they were drinking something in the Robin Hood scene, and I think there was also some drinking in the Grease scene as well. He doesn't agree. He says not present, not clickable.
Whoa. Okay.
Didn't exist.
He must have went up and got popcorn or something.
And that's
that stuff.
it.
Wow. Okay.
There were only 2 of those categories that he put in here. He only had 6 categories in this, and only 2 of them were clickable with a rating out of the 6 he put here.
But so I think Paul did a good job because he didn't give us any of this not present but clickable business. So kudos for that, but obviously he missed some stuff.
He did. So, parents need to know that kids will see a good deal of cartoonish violence in Time Bandits. A man's arm is ripped off during an arm wrestling match, a hungry dwarf captured and eats a rat, severed feet hang from the ceiling of an ogre's ship. 2 characters are blown up at the end, but they aren't depicted as very nice people. I don't think that's the way I'd put it. They weren't bad people.
Yeah, they weren't like mean. They were just self-absorbed, maybe? Materialistic? Shallow, yeah.
Also, there are scary creatures and depictions of a supreme being and his nemesis that will find objectionable. The bandits are pursued by the supreme being, i.e. God, who seems to have created the world in a slapdash manner. They also encounter the evil genius or devil throughout the movie. This is a weird sentence. Throughout, the movie advocates reading and an appreciation for both fictional and mythological aspects of human history. Its dwarf protagonists also address themes of tolerance. What? Where did you... Reaching.
Man.
Just because nobody called him out?
So that explains it. He was looking so deep into all that stuff that he missed the movie looking at that stuff that's not even there. Like, he went beyond.
I wish
this... Paul?
It says last updated October. Last updated 1722. I want to know. I wish it told me when they wrote this review.
Right.
Like, was it this year? Was it 15 years ago? This adult, 11 plus 1 star, wrote this 5 years ago.
Wow.
Disturbing. We saw this movie when I was 6 years old. I was immediately freaked out. Then it says spoiler. When I saw his parents explode after touching the evil, I didn't sleep for days. I would not let anyone under 10 see this movie. All right.
Wow.
All right.
Wow, that was not that bad.
Another adult. We're going to laugh at this one. 18 plus 1 star. Occultism and scary.
Okay.
Wait, what? Oh, okay. Because it says an adult, but then it actually starts the sentence with my parent. Gotta read further. My parent let me watch this. Let me watch when I was young and I had nightmares. I watched it when I was older and I found out why. Okay. How young were you? This movie is full of scary occultism, satanic visuals. I would never let my 2 kids watch this.
I didn't catch that. I'm freaking out. All these people are seeing stuff that I'm not seeing, and I'm freaking out.
Oh, the first one that gave it the 11 plus said this title has too much violence and too much drinking, drugs, and smoking. But yet the reviewer said there wasn't any.
Right.
I don't remember when I first watched this movie because I mentioned it to my wife that I was pretty certain that she's the one that showed me this movie first, but she claims that I'm the one that showed her this movie. So I don't remember when I first watched this movie. Sorry, I'm drinking my Dr. Pepper and Crown over here. It's my crown that I got for my Secret Santa gift. Vanilla Crown.
Vanilla.
So good. So, great movie. Make all your young kids watch it. We, the Pantless podcast, advocate to let young kids watch this movie.
Yeah, I don't think my kids would. My kids would probably be bored with it.
Yeah,
but
I mean, that's my whole thing.
But if they weren't bored with it, there was nothing that wasn't kid like that was.
There's
I don't know.
There's a lot of these older movies that I want my kids to watch, but like I don't understand. When I watched movies at their age, I sat and watched movies. Like, they can't sit and watch the movies that I watched growing up. They want to watch all their TV shows.
Yeah. That's what it is. It's the TikToks and the Vines have taken over their minds.
They want to watch their 3-minute videos and their 15-minute TV. Have you noticed that cartoons on TV now are only like 15-minute short, like most kids shows these days?
Are they?
Like, I know a lot of the stuff on Disney Channel, like most of their shows are all like 15-minute max. Like, there's a new Spider-Man series out, and it's like little short 15-minute episodes.
Guess that's what the kids are into.
Short. Kids don't have attention span anymore. But speaking of attention span, what are we watching next? Got any ideas? Do I need to go to the...
I think you need to pull up the old search and finder machine.
Check out the interwebs and see what's
yeah,
hopping.
Neither of us discussed a movie.
I saw some stuff the other day.
What'd you see?
I don't Man. Ooh, want to go further back? This is one that just popped up. Must be new. You want to jump back to 1976 and watch the first Rocky?
Oh, yeah.
Really go into left field?
Let's do it.
Center ring. I don't know what I'm saying.
Is the first Rocky, is that the one with Mr. T in it?
I don't know.
But yeah, I'm down. Let's do it.
Rocky 2 is Apollo Creed. Which one does... Oh, he fights Dolph Lundgren in 4. That might be who you're thinking it is.
Dolph?
No. Dolph
there's one with Mr. T.
I think Mr. T's in the first one.
I think so.
Because he fights Dolph in 4. And he does Apollo Creed in 2. But it doesn't say who he fights in 1, 3, and 5. Was there like 72 of these? Wasn't there a bunch of these movies?
I think I don't know. I can't remember now. I can't remember. One of them had his son in it. I can't remember if that was 5 or 6, where he was basically training his son. But going down with Sylvester Stallone, I didn't even realize they came up with a Rambo Last Blood back 4 years ago, they came out with a new Rambo.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's new from 4 years ago. Sylvester Stallone, he is the king of
he's
the
the
sequels, huh?
Tulsa King.
Oh gosh. My gosh.
I've actually, I actually, it's on Amazon Prime, and I've actually been meaning to watch that. So I heard that movie was actually filmed in Tulsa.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
So it's like, yeah, really need to watch that. I don't know. Anything filmed in Oklahoma, I gotta watch.
Might see yourself.
Doubt it. I don't ever go to Tulsa, but remind me of later in the week, and I might have to look up an old movie that was filmed near my hometown in the mid-90s that we might have to look up.
Okay, what was that?
It's a football movie called Possums.
Oh gosh.
It's a movie about the Nowata High School football team.
Okay.
They did some illegal thing. They were like the best in like the 80s. I don't want to say in the late 70s, early 80s. They were like the best. They were like the #1 high school football program. This is real life.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess their coach got caught doing some things he shouldn't have been doing, like recruiting stuff, and they basically killed the program. And the movie's about how they had to, build it back up. And the movie was shot in Collinsville and in parts of Nowata, and the state title game at the end of the movie, spoiler, was filmed. They used my home high school football stadium.
Nice.
Is where they filmed all the scenes for the the state title game there at Ulaga.
That's cool.
They changed around the school is around the stadium's surrounded by the school, but they changed the background in the movie of a city look, so you can't actually see our high school behind the stadium in the shots. They kind of green screen behind it. They changed what was, but you can actually, if you look at the grandstands and the end zones, you can tell. I mean, if you went to school there, you'd be like, oh, I recognize that field. I've done tons of stadiums up and down, stadium runs up and down those stairs, if you know what those are.
Mm-hmm.
Where you have to run upstairs and down up. We had a very tall home grandstand.
Yeah.
So when we got in trouble in athletics, we had to go run up and down the home stands. And it wasn't short. It was all.
And it's not fun when you're at pads too.
This was off, not in football season, when we were in other sports or in just got in trouble at the school. Go run stairs.
You were goofing off in math, go run stairs. Oh man.
If the math teacher was a coach, and he
That's
got mad
funny.
at the whole class, he'd make us all roll runs. Most of the time, it was off season, when we were in the different sports, or as well in football. We also had a full size track. We had the track around our football field, so we were always having to run around the track. So I'll look for that movie. I don't even know where I'll find that movie.
Never heard of it. You've probably only heard of it because it was filmed in your hometown.
Yes, that's the only reason I knew about it. There it is. I actually found it. It was made in 98.
That's fairly recent.
I mean, I was in middle school when the movie was filmed.
It's interesting. Okay.
It said I may have been a little mistaken on the premise of the movie. It says their high school football team had not scored a touchdown in 13 years, so they were Shoto. My wife's gonna kill me for that one. But yeah, it was filmed in Oklahoma. Says it's okay. I'll have to watch that. I'll have to check that out after. You got anything else, sir?
I don't.
You know, I forgot to message you the name of that song for you to listen to. That Pearl Jam song.
I forgot that you were supposed to remind me to remember
right?
a song.
I utterly failed you. But
oh, I know you're talking about that sappy one.
Yeah, that's
sad
song.
Okay.
But you know what? I think that's all we got for the day, the
Call
night,
it.
the week. What am I supposed to be doing here? There it is.
Yeah, it's supposed to be outroing. Yeah, that sounds right. That.